Hello everyone, it's Raza Van Werder from the University of Mother God Church. I'm doing a review of things that I slipped up on, files that didn't work, and things I forgot to talk about from my earliest memories up until about the age of 16. I just want to make a quick review of some of them and get them over with, then I'm done. I'm done with them. So one of the experiences with my mother was the Brillo incident. Joan Crawford's daughter, Christina Crawford, has an incident where her mother came in the middle of the night and woke her up and felt that the floor in the bathroom was not clean, and she picked up a Brillo, she picked up an Ajax, one of those containers of like Ajax type powder, the powder, and she took it and she beat Christina with it until it exploded and the powder went all over everything, and Christina was up till 3 a.m. cleaning it. Poor girl, she was very young, like maybe 13 years old at the time. So I have an incident to parallel that. I have a lot of incidents that parallel the stuff that Christina went through. So it was, and I've never mentioned it, so I thought I better get this over with because this is, weird. So I want to get this over with and get all this out of the way before I go into the next sequence of subject. So one day when I used to be madly, insanely, obsessively in love with Elvis Presley as a kid. From the age of 10 to 12. I mean, all I thought about was Elvis Presley. And I wasn't allowed to beautify myself. I wasn't allowed to wear lipstick or anything, but I would, steal a lipstick from my mom or another lady that was around, and I would take the lipstick and I would wear lipstick at school. And I was 12 or 13, probably 12, because, because I wasn't insanely in love with, I had calmed down a little bit by 13 about Elvis. But, I wore lipstick, and then I wrote Elvis on both my hands in lipstick. And then before I got home, I cleaned off my lipstick off my lips, and I cleaned off my hands the Elvis, but I couldn't get it all off. It was still showing faintly. So we were sitting at the dinner table, and we're, my family and we're sitting at the dinner table eating, and I'm trying to hide my hands from my mother while we're eating. Well, in a fit of rage, she jumped up, grabbed me by the hair. The sink was right there. We were eating in the kitchen, and she pulled me to the kitchen, and she began scrubbing my face with Ajax. And it was pretty nasty, but I always felt a thing about my mother punishing me and hitting me and beating me. I always felt, well, I can't be forceful with my mother in any way, and I'm not allowed to run away because she's my mother. I had this honor system in my brain. But I did draw the line when she grabbed the Brillo. Brillo is steel wool. It's filled with soap. And she began to rub my hands with the Brillo, steel wool. At that moment, I just jumped and ran. Okay, so that's one incident that's comparable to Christina's incident. The other incident was the lemon meringue pie. Now, my mother was one of the world's greatest cooks, and later she became a lifetime chef and worked in really excellent places as a chef and whatever. So she was really, really good at this, and she worked at it all the time. So while she was asleep one day, I decided to make a lemon meringue pie to please her. Now, a lot of times a child craves the love of their parents because they don't have much else. Parents they look up to as gods. Their life begins around their parents, and they put their parents on a pedestal. And when their parents abuse them, sometimes they think, if only I was a better person, if only I did more good, if only I could somehow please my parent, they wouldn't abuse me, they would love me, they would start loving me. And you don't realize your parent could be a psychopath or a sociopath, or your parent might just hate you and want to destroy you, they might be demonic. You don't think that. You don't think that. You always tend to blame yourself. So you want to improve yourself. At least I did. So I wanted, even though my mother was mean as hell, I wanted to please her. So I worked real diligently on making this lemon meringue pie, and I made the crust, which I don't even know how to make crust today. I've forgotten, but I made it. That part came out good. Then I made the inside, the lemon meringue, and I cooked it and baked it. It was perfect. Then I tried to make the meringue on top, the white meringue, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. I don't remember what it was. I didn't have a cookbook. I should have looked in a cookbook, but I don't remember using a cookbook. So I made it, and when my mother got up, I said, Mom, I've made a lemon meringue pie. I'm just very, very sorry. I couldn't figure out how to make the top. So she just said, you destroyed my ingredients. And she beat me with her fist. Bang, and bang, and bang, and bang, again and again and again. I never dared try to cook anything again. My job as a cook was the dirty work. Like, she would take out a pound of hard butter. And my job was to take sugar and take a wooden spoon and blend it, and it would take an hour, and blend it until it became sugar butter frosting, and then you put food coloring in it, and then you decorate a cake. So my job was to just do the hard part, and then my job was to clean. I was the janitor. My first job at the age of 6 was, that reminds me of that guy, I can't think of his name, Andy something. He had this show, and he had a movie before the show where he had to clean all the toilets in the army, and he made a special thing out of it, and he made all the toilets come up and come down at the same time. And then a commanding officer or general came by, and he got mad at the captain or somebody that made him be the dirty janitor. Because it was demeaning, but the guy, was it called No Time for Sergeants? I don't remember. I just remember that part because it reminded me. From the age of 6, my job was, I was the toilet cleaner. And every other day, I had to take Ajax, put my hand in the toilet and scrub. And I took pride in my work. I did a good job, just like the sergeant, this guy in No Time for Sergeants. And I think that was the movie. Maybe I'm wrong. But so I did a good job. I was 6 years old. And I'm happy about work. I was never miserable about working. I'm glad I was taught work. I'm glad I wasn't taught to be spoiled or lazy or weak. So I had to do that every other day. That was my job. And then as I got older, I had many jobs, many jobs. All right, so that's 2 of the incidents I covered. What else did I not cover? Well, I guess that's it for those. We'll go to another subject now. To be continued.